Hi, my name is Swiss, and for the past 30 years I've had the privilege of working with many different turtle and tortoise species. Please join me on my journey as I learn more about these amazing animals, their habitats, and their DIY enclosures, and maybe we can build something together. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Turtle Whisperer, our new channel. So, 2 years ago we did a series, a 3-part series on Bubbles the Snapping Turtle page about tips to tame your snapping turtle, and it was really popular with the tips, and people were really responding and having good results with that. So I figured let's do an updated video 2 years later, what we're doing, what Bubbles is up to, and see how the tips have worked. So we'll call this Tips to Tame Your Snapping Turtle Part 4. And obviously the goal is to get to this. If you haven't already, go check out Bubbles the Snapping Turtle page for parts 1, 2, and 3 on tips to taming the snapping turtle, and that's how we got to here. Definitely recommend my own videos, obviously, but yeah, that'll catch you up to part 4. Big thing is patience and routine, a lot of patience and routine, and knowing when not to touch your snapping turtle. That's a joke. Just kidding. I got all my fingers. I'm missing some eyebrows though. Turtle didn't take those. I don't know what happened. They're just really, really bleached or really light. I do have eyebrows. They're there.
What are you gonna do about the eyebrows?
Yeah. So there's that. Today we'll be serving a cooked chicken breast infused with turtle pellets. Tips to tame your snapping turtle, part 1, 2, and 3 went over how we feed in a separate enclosure and never feed by hand. I don't feed by hand because I don't want my turtle to see my hand as food or a source of food or go into a feeding frenzy every time it sees my hand. Again, we feed in a separate enclosure so your turtle's used to being handled and then ultimately rewarded with food. I always sit very still and watch my turtle, letting my turtle see me, see him, letting him assess if I am a threat. Being very still is key here. A snapping turtle will only do what it wants to do. It's entirely up to him what he allows you to do. Reading his movements is key at this stage. After my turtle has swallowed her first bite, I will then place my hand over her head and rub her head. Notice her shell does not go up. She does not get into a cringe rock-like position. She can move away at any time. Her head is movement. What you're looking for is her shell not to be raised up in defensive position, no mouth opening, not turning into a rock, no defensive or aggressive behaviors. As you can see, she's moving around, her head is alert, doing whatever she wants. I stop rubbing her head as soon as she moves away, so again, it's completely up to her, freedom of movement. I then repeat the process. I let her watch me drop the chicken in. Again, my hand is not food, so I let her know that I am the source of food, but it is not my hand. I sit very still next to her, watching her watch me, letting her assess if I am a threat or not. Again, this is all entirely up to what your turtle will allow. I will then place my hand over her in a hovering position, not actually touching her, and as she's used to that, I will then go in for the head rub. Again, reading her movements, no defensive tail raised positioning or shell raised position, no mouth opening, no aggression. She's not clammed up into a rock. While rubbing my turtle's head, I always watch her movements. Is she alert? Is she moving? Is she enjoying this? Again, no shell-raised defensive positioning. Very alert, always moving. She's not clammed up in a shell. She's not tight. She's moving, very alert, moving her head around. But again, if she does not want a head rub, she will move. Right there, I'm holding my hand above her head to show I am not a threat, and back down. And that's how we started. We just would hold our hand over her head just a little bit, just to show I'm not a threat, I'm not harassing her, and that's a big thing. You can have 100 good days, but one bad day and it undoes everything you just did. But then again, I repeat the process. I let her watch me drop the chicken in, and then after she eats it, I will do her hand raise positioning and then to the head rubs. And this is all patience and routine. If the turtle doesn't want it, you stop immediately. It's 100% up to her. Again, one stressful day, one bad day, and it undoes years and months of everything that you have accomplished with this turtle. And there might be bad days, and on those days where she does not want to be pet, you leave her alone. It's 100% up to your turtle. I have been using this method for 10 years now, and I have very, very docile snapping turtles, alligator snapping turtles. Everyone I've worked with on the groups that I admin and moderate at have had great success with this as well. Again, patience and routine. You start slow, you don't rush, but it all starts with feeding in a separate enclosure. Your turtle will then get used to being handled and then rewarded with food after being handled. So you're now teaching your turtle that when you pick him or her up, you are not a threat, you are a source of joy or enrichment and a source of food. So when I pick my snapping turtle up, she knows it's feeding time or we're going outside. I always offer a very varied diet, but today just happens to be chicken day, and it was a perfect chance to make a video and show you some of the progress we made with tips to tame your snapping turtle, part 1, 2, and 3, and now part 4. This is just kind of the update, everything all together. And as you can see, Bubbles is doing great. She's sitting there hanging out. And we just repeat the process. Now I feed her in the separate enclosure on all her feeding, so anytime I go to get her out, she's perfectly docile, she's not trying to bite me, she's not in a feeding frenzy, she knows she's either going outside or she's going to her feeding enclosure. So enrichment is a big deal with it, and reward, almost like training a puppy, you know, with reward. And it's just a lot of patience, a lot of routine. Now I didn't get Bubbles here when she was a hatchling. She was probably 3 or 4 years old already, and I didn't start training her till a few years after that. So it can be done with any turtle, but the key to start is feeding in a separate enclosure, and it'll also keep your main enclosure much, much cleaner. So when my turtle Bubbles doesn't want head rubs, she just gets out of the way. As you can see, rubbing her head, oh, nope, I stop immediately. I go to rub her head, she doesn't want it, she's moving away. Again, I stop immediately. Last time, gonna give her a head rub. Going good, nope, she's done. I don't try again after that. It's up to her, she doesn't want it, I don't do it. Thanks everyone for watching the video. I hope you have as much success as I do with bonding with your turtle, and please hit the like and subscribe for more future videos. I think we're gonna do some DIY filters coming up soon, some real quick, easy change outs, and happy turtling everyone.